Having come from the public school arena, that was where I first started. It's a totally different experience. It's a totally different type of competition. You hear totally different types of speeches. They are much more after the shock factor, the shock value in the public school tournaments that I've judged at, that I've been a part of, and the topics are a bit shocking. Sometimes what you hear a freshman 14-year-old willing to stand up and speak about, sometimes what they're asked to speak about by their coaches, or a topic that's put in the mix with the impromptu speaking events. And so it was culture shock for me to come into Stoa. I was pulled into Stoa by a sweet friend of mine in the homeschool community whenever I first started homeschooling my kids. And it was shocking to me in a good way that these are kids that love the Lord, that are following Christ with all their hearts, or at least their parents are, and they are so wanting them to learn how to verbalize what they believe, why they believe it, and do so with boldness and in a safe place. And Stoa provides that for kids. Homeschool only tournaments provides that safe place for kids to be able to do that, and we don't have to worry about extra worldly influences coming in and superseding what we are trying to teach our kids here. So I think homeschool only leagues are super important, because quite frankly, and we've had some of our kids in public school for various reasons over the years, but right now we're thankful that they're all homeschooled. So it is not a statement against the public school leagues, but I do know that as a homeschool parent, a Stoa parent for many years now, I would like them to not intermingle here at these tournaments, because I do love that Stoa has provided that safe place for our kids.
And I think it's not just the topics, that are shocking, but I think it's also even the strategy,
Yes.
of what it takes to win. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And throughout Stoa, at least all the tournaments I've been in, all the coaches that I've interacted with, winning is important, right? It is a competition. That's what we're aiming to do, but not at any cost. Like, we're not going to sacrifice integrity, right? It's not just not using a curse word. It's like, no, if I know something to be false, I'm not going to misrepresent it as being true. And in the secular world, that doesn't matter. It's win at any cost. It doesn't matter. And so they're just going to go on the emotional pull for you.
Don't be afraid to intentionally hurt someone else to win. And that's not a thing in Stoa. You will not see that here.
Yeah. And if it was to happen, then there's positive reinforcement behind there saying, you know what, man, we understand that there's that temptation to give into that, but there's something more important here. It is glorifying God. And I think it's very important for this generation to realize, because this is what we see in the secular world, right? It's, I'm right, you're wrong, and I'm all self-righteous, and you must be of the devil, and even if they don't believe in God.
Right.
But we have to realize, we have to learn both sides and say, you know what, there's something valid from the other side. I need to learn how to listen, right, to what the other side is saying, and say, okay, what is wrong with that reasoning? Or what do I need to change about my reasoning, right, in order to make sure that I'm aligned with truth? Mm-hmm. And I think these are important skills for Christians and for Christian thinkers, for Christian leaders, right, that they can be able to speak boldly, that they can defend the truth, and not just give in to tactics of rhetorical skill, which you need to have both, right? You need to have rhetorical skill, and you also need to have truth. And in the secular world, in public school, there is no truth. Your truth and your truth, they might be exactly opposite, but they're both true.
Right.
And we know that not to be true.